The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
In Eretz Yisrael, a number of years ago, there was a young Talmud Chacham with family, little children, somehow got connected, even though he did nothing wrong whatsoever, was not involved in any crime, God forbid. But somehow he got his name was connected to some other group that did things which are not correct, putting it mildly. And there was going to be a tremendous court case against these people, and he was included, and they wanted to indict him and sentence him to prison for 12 years. And this man was totally beside. He tried to explain to them he has no connection here, no shaykhs. You're making a terrible mistake, but it all fell on deaf ears. There was nothing he could do to convince them. And the trial was coming up soon, and he was a broken vessel. He just didn't know where to turn, where to go, what to do. So he comes at that time to Rav Yaakov Fisher Zatzal, one of the great poskim in Eretz Yisrael. And he tells him his tale of woe, and of course Rav Fisher commiserates with him. Then he gets up, and he opens up a drawer, and he takes out a candy. And he brings him the candy, and he gives it to him. So he's looking at Rav Fisher like, what am I, some child? That you're going to give me a candy and it's all going to go away? So he obviously saw Rav Fisher that he's a little perplexed by what's going on, and he says, let me explain to you something. And I want you to listen to me well. On the day of the trial, you are to go into that courtroom with this candy in hand. And when you sit down, you are to remove all thoughts of what's happening around you. You are not to see anything. You are not to hear anything. You are to tune out. You are to put yourself in a different zone. And you're going to take out this candy. And you're going to make a bracha. But you're going to make the bracha the way I'm telling you to make one. Baruch Ato Hashem, blessed are you Hashem. HaKadosh Baruch Hu does not need our blessings. What it means is that He is the source of all blessings. Hashem, Hoya, Hoyve, V'yiyeh, He was, He is, He will always be eternal. Elokeinu means He has Hakol Yochel, He has all the power that exists in the universe. There's nothing He cannot do. Melech HaOlam, He is king. All happens by His verdict. Shakol niyeh bidvaro. That all things come about through His word. No human being can say or do anything without His permission. No judge can say guilty or innocent unless HaKadosh Baruch Hu puts the words in his mouth. No prosecutor, no attorney, defense attorney, whatever they say, it's all from the Koyach Hashem. Hakol niyeh, everything comes about in this world. Every blade of grass, every minutia, every detail is all through Him. You are to think about this, and that's how you are to say the bracha. And then you put the candy in your mouth. Vayehi Hayom, the day comes, the day of the trial. It's a tumult. His family's there, all his friends are there to give him support. And of course, the prosecutor, the defense attorney, the judge. And they start, and they call the main witnesses. And there's talking and fighting and arguing, and he's tuning out everything. And smack in the middle of the trial, he takes out the candy. And he says in a loud voice, Baruch Ato Hashem Elokeinu Melech Olam, with all the kavanas that Rav Yaakov Fisher told him to have. Shakol niyeh bidvaro. He puts the candy in his mouth. A minute later, the judge takes the gavel and he bangs it and he says, recess, which is quite unusual. First day of the trial, in the middle of everything. But they take a recess. He comes back 15 minutes later, the judge, And he turns to the defendant and he says, you know, the charges against you are very serious. But I've been watching the proceedings here, and I see the main witnesses which they have called to the stand. They're contradicting themselves left and right. And therefore I have decided to dismiss all charges, and this case is hereby closed. Bang! And the court case is over. Pandemonium breaks out. He literally he almost faints. He can't believe what's happening. To say that he was in a state of joy is the understatement of the year. So he comes to Rav Fisher, to Rav Yaakov Fisher, and he gets up and he gives him a hug and he kisses him. And he says, I want you to understand something. I want you to take this message with you for the rest of your life. You don't understand the koach of just one bracha. The power that lies behind one bracha. And we say hundreds and thousands and millions of them during our lifetime. And you see now proof positive what one real bracha can do. Take that lesson into your hand. Realize the koyach of reciting a bracha with real kavanah, and you'll see nisim gluyim. So this Purim, as we're misameach and we rejoice, let's remember that when we make our brachas, to make it with real kavanah. And when you make those brachas on the greatest day of the year, which is Purim, the most powerful day of the year is Purim, and you make those brachas with kavanah, who knows the Yeshuas that you could bring about. Mitz Hashem, it should bring only simchas and nachas and bracha v'hatzlacha to Klal Yisrael. And this should lead us in this chus of saying our brachas with the kavanah that it deserves. Should bring us the Geula Shlema Mashiach Tzidkenu Mehera V'Yameinu. Amen.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org